The Christian Aid has called for more effort to fight gender inequality in the country. The Christian Aid made this known during the inaugural Gender Justice Conference in Abuja with the theme Transformative Gender Justice, Panacea for Sustainable Development. The country director of the Christian Aid, Temitope Fashola, while urging Nigerians to give women, girls, and vulnerable persons their rightful place in the society, also adds that they should be given opportunities to contribute to the growth and development of the nation's economy.
Women and girls suffer the least access to opportunities that can enable them to fulfill their potential. To compound this, women and girls are poorly represented in decision-making circles. Therefore, issues faced by women and girls are not duly prioritized by the male-dominated political class and duty bearers, as they do not have the lived experiences of the discrimination and barriers that women have to face. To add to this, gender discrimination is deep-rooted and pervasive in cultural norms and practices, leading to gender inequality in both formal and informal decision-making structures. Cultural and religious socialization have resulted in women and girls feeling isolated and powerless, and therefore conforming to cultural pressures. Among these are prevalent social and cultural norms such as subordinate role of women, women not viewed as decision makers, women having only reproductive and child care roles, women not needing education which results in harmful practices such as female genital mutilation, child marriage, exclusion from decision making and education. Gender injustice also manifests itself in the perpetration of violence against women and girls, reduced access to decision making spaces, unequal access to equality education for girls, increased prevalence of early marriage among girls, and poor or lack of access to reproductive health services, female genital mutilation, among others. Gender injustice also presents itself in the description of people living with disability, non-indigenous groups, certain age groups, and other identities such as widows. For instance, disability remains misunderstood in the Nigerian context, and persons with disability are systematically excluded from decision-making and access to quality services, socially, economically, and politically. The consciousness of society still perceives persons with disability as incapable and invaluable, and their marginalization is based on a social perception of their limitation. Where persons with disability needs are considered, it is typical for government, citizens, and civil society to adopt a charity mindset and instead of a social model, meaning that support provided to persons with disability is viewed as an handout and not in line with desired with us and not for us model that organizations that are associated with persons with disability typically promote. Our GESI transformative approach, therefore, looks beyond women empowerment and participation to recognize that women and girls are often the most marginalized groups.
My dad left me when I was 9. Yeah, with 4 other siblings. He left us with my mom. And we moved into an uncompleted building. We struggled to survive. And for many places my mom will go to look for what to use to feed us, they will tell her no, because she was a woman. Because she was a woman. The only crime she committed was because she was a woman. And it took the grace of God. It took life-defying, strategies for us to survive. For me to be standing here today. Actually, in fact, in a grim irony, that I became a man, that I became who I am today, is because of my mom. My mom taught me how to be a man. Doesn't that sound contradictory? How a woman teaches a man to be a man. In fact, she did not just teach me how to be a man. She taught me what not to be as a man. And that is key. This is important. And that is what this conference is all about. We have to bring it home and let it touch the very fabric of our nation and our existence as a people. That is why this conference is important. And that's why today I associate myself. Because I know that even sitting in this hall, there are many women here who have similar stories. There are many women here who have been told no, simply because you are a woman. And if we give the microphone to every woman here, just these people in the hall here, you will hear stories that will shock the very fabric of your existence. Then let's go into the communities. Let's go far into the deep field. And then let's hear what other people will say. Because women will always suffer more than men. So there is a disbalance. In common conversations, you will hear men saying that women are suffering. No, stop that. There is a disbalance. That's what we are trying to fight. Let's get to the point of equality. Then you can begin to say, okay, one for men, one for women. We're not there yet. There is a disbalance. Women have been left behind. So we are trying to catch up. So let's bring women to where men are. Then we'll begin to talk about let's share it equally. Women suffer more from every form of difficulty we face as humans.
This is the right time to be on stage for Nigerian women. Let's put our hands together. All the donor agencies, we are calling on them to support women. This fight is not over. It's at the state level. We need to build the agency of women. And in all of the states, we have different groups doing different things at the state level. We are asking, you need to know who else is in the state so that women can really take over the state. If we get it right, let's make use of the continuous voter registration that is going on. I also chair, convene the situation room on elections. And what we are seeing is a lot of apathy in voting. If you don't go out to vote, those who vote will carry the day, whether we like it or not. And so to face this, everybody needs to get their voter's card. Young people constitute about 62% of the population of Nigeria. Let everybody have a card. Then we have a way to change them. If they are not answering us at the Senate now, if all of the women, because they form 70% of the voters, if all of us are able to vote, to go on and vote, we can choose the president. We can choose who becomes the governor. We should have more governors, in all of the states. And so it may not be so easy in 2023, but I can tell you by 2027, we should be able to have many governors as women. We need to make a choice. We don't want to do it alone. We want a human parliament, a human government. You have about 15 states in the federation that have not even a single woman in the houses of assembly. And they have women committees. And the men are the ones deciding for women in the women committees. That is no wonder why the issue of gender responsive, partnership, the progress that is being made is not much. They are not building new hospitals. The population has quadrupled and nobody is paying attention. We are not growing with our population. And when our children also, the population of unemployed, when they come back home, very, very difficult for them to go to their fathers to go and collect money. Mommy, do you have something there? We are still responsible for the children that ought to be working now. So I want to commend you for this time. And I say for us, the struggle is up there, whether young and old. Let the women of Nigeria take over the streets so that we can reclaim Nigeria.
Nigeria should ensure that your children have quality education. And if you want to mention, the level of compliance with that, you don't look at my children, let me put it that way, and just say this in all humility. Because I probably can afford to put my children in any school, available. You look at the children of the downtrodden who cannot afford it. How well taken care of are they? You look at a person with disability, whose power to claim that right has been reduced. What is the state doing to ensure that this person is in school? In terms of healthcare, I probably can take myself to National Hospital and pay. I can go to a private hospital and pay. But every Nigerian should be able to access basic and quality healthcare, even if they can't afford to pay at a private hospital. By the time we come to a point where Nigerians can access basic healthcare provided by our government, because of course, why do we have a government? It's because of the welfare and security of Nigerians. That also. And so, if government is unable to do that, we cannot claim that we have equality until that is done. So equality is in terms of outcomes. It is not in terms of sharing the resources 50-50. I am moving to the next one, which is gender equality and social inclusion. Like I told you before, I'm going to skip a lot of slides because we don't have that much time. Now, gender equality and social inclusion is what some people say it is more or less touted as gender equality plus, right? So gender equality we know. You know, how can we get men and women to accept the benefits of development on an equal basis, no matter who they are, no matter where they are coming from? What can the state do to ensure that those who cannot afford it on their own, you know, have access to it? But gender equality and social inclusion is a concept that addresses on equal power relations. You think what I'm saying? Power is involved. The power to claim, the power to accept, the power to demand, the power to make government listen. And that power, that process of, you know, building that power starts from home. It starts from when you have a girl and you have a boy. It starts from how you tell the girl to shut up because she's a girl, and how you allow your boy to scream and shout and be aggressive, you know, and pursue his education and all of that while you drag your daughter to the kitchen to wash plates. I am not against teaching girls how to wash plates, but boys do need to learn how to wash plates too. And when we are done washing the plates, girls and boys sit at the table and study. This is what we're talking about. So gender equality and social inclusion is a concept that addresses unequal power relations experienced by people on the grounds of gender, on the grounds of wealth, on the grounds of ability or disability, on the grounds of location, race, caste, ethnicity, language, and agency, or a combination of these dimensions.